terrific. Thank you for the privilege of bringing the JHS Musical cast to the radio audience once again this year.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Absolutely our pleasure. We love to be here with you.
That's very kind. And there's a cohesiveness to this cast that is quite extraordinary. Everyone talks about how well it's going, the friendship. I mean, this is really some group you've got here.
It really is. And when we first started, one of the first statements that I made to them is that when you come to this place, you come to a safe place to be who you need to be on stage. You leave everything outside, and we are a family, and we take care of each other.
What do you think of the show, Singing in the Rain? What led you to choose it? What are its strengths as a presentation?
Oh my goodness.
We do have to end at 10.
First of all, it is a classic. It's classic musical theater. It did start as a film, and it translated very well to the stage. I did it 21 years ago, and at the Regelene, that was the first show we did at the Regelene. And now it's called the Center for the Arts, but back then it was the Regelene Civic Center. That was the first show we did, and our leading characters from that show are coming in from all parts of the country to come and see it. We've got Lindsay Orm is flying in from Texas, as she played Kathy Selden. We have Jim Lafone, who was Cosmo, flying in from Connecticut. Jamie Bell was Don Lockwood, and he's here in town. Andy Palermo, also here in town, and I believe Laura Sotir is coming in from Buffalo.
Wow.
So it's, you know what, it is a tremendous show. Just on the, whether it rains or not, which, by the way, it's going to rain like a son of a gun on that stage. I just want to let you know that. But
we'll get to that.
Yes, but it's a fun show, and I did want to tell a really quick story about Debbie Reynolds, and I think that this will impact the cast because I've never told them this story before.
Okay, Debbie Reynolds was Kathy Selden in the movie.
She was a teenager when she was cast in this role. And Gene Kelly wanted her specifically because she was not a dancer at all. She was a gymnast. And of course, he was a very physical performer. So she had never danced in her life, never had taken a dance lesson in her life. He chose her for that role and worked with her for several months. One day, Fred Astaire comes in and finds I think she was 19 or maybe 18 at the time. She's sitting under the piano sobbing. And he said, what is wrong with you, Debbie? And she said, I can't do this. I can't. It's too hard. I can't do it. He took her by the hand and he said, I'll help you, don't worry. Later on in her life, she said the two most difficult things she did in her life, giving birth and working on Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly.
Incredible story.
It is. And so now, kids, you understand that one of the most difficult things that you'll probably have to endure in your life is working with me as a director. I
do want to say, though, one of the key things that I observed the moment I went to a rehearsal to kind of get the feel of the cast and the show was how ahead of the clock you were. You are really going to be ready to take the stage on Thursday night. This has come together beautifully.
It really has, and that's kudos to the cast and this feeling that you said that you noticed right away. It was palpable from the very beginning. These kids, and they're all different ages, as you saw. We've got seniors and they're best friends with the freshmen, and they support each other. They love each other. Their parents should be very proud of them. Very proud of them because they've raised kids that know how to care about people. And that's, you know what, from my standpoint as somebody that has to work with them all the time, there's no attitudes, there's no prima donnas, and there could be prima donnas in here because there's some extraordinary talent, but you don't find that. They're humble kids, and they're a credit to their families, the churches, and the community. I'm very proud of them.
Well, and I just want to comment on that for a moment, then we need to move on. There are other people, other things we need to talk about, but kids take a lot of knocks today, adolescents in this age range, for one thing. Two, face enormous challenges in terms of the economy and choosing colleges and finding a place for themselves in the world. So what you say is extremely reassuring.
Well, it absolutely is, and this is their stepping point for college and life. It's tough work. What we do is very difficult, but they know at the end of this project that they can be proud of what they've done in all respects. It's not just what they do on stage, it's what they do off the stage, it's how they deal with the community, it's how they raise money for charitable organizations, which this year we're doing Kaylee's Crusade.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, for the little two-year-old girl who has, I'm going to say it wrong, is it neoblastoma? It's a leukemia. And so, you know, throughout the years we've raised money for different organizations, but that's another thing that they can put in their resume of life, that they have helped other people in that way.
Well, Michelle Constantino, thank you again for allowing me to be a part of your rehearsals, to get the feel of this musical. Thank you for all your hard work in presenting Singing in the Rain.